Hello and welcome on this Super Saturday to Cricbuzz Live. I'm Gaurav Kapur. Very happy to be here to talk about two games that are happening today and two games, of course, that will be happening tomorrow. And we have Mr. Harsha Bhogle with us and very happy to welcome Mr. Michael Vaughan. Hello, sir. How are you?
You're good?
Yeah, I mean, I'm all right.
Thoda accent ulta ho gaya. His accent is not that accent. By the way, he comes thoda up north.
Michael asked that question, but he didn't really mean it. If I was all right or not. So I don't really want to answer it.
I did actually mean it. I like your jacket as well.
Oh, thank you.
Welcome to the madhouse, Michael.
He knows that I am the puppeteer. He must be nice to me. Some tea, coffee for you?
I've had a coffee. I could do with another one if you.
All right.
If you got
Ajit, coffee, please. Now that that's on the way, of course, we must talk about the two games today. The first one, which is, we'll quickly cut away because Harsha's laughing. The one happening in Indore. This is Kings 11 Punjab, who are welcoming the Kolkata Knight Riders to their home in Indore. Yes,
it's 45 degrees. It's some welcome.
Yeah,
I've just come back from the UK. It's about 12 degrees in the UK.
It's 12 degrees. It's freezing cold day in Indore at 45. They broke a couple of eggs this afternoon on the pitch and they became omelettes in a minute. That's what's going to happen to most of the players as well. A lot of pressure, a lot of heat on them. But the second game today is two teams for whom this IPL is, well, almost over. I mean, they're still going to play the rest of the games, right? So it's almost over. It's the Delhi Daredevils and the Royal Challengers Bangalore. And that's happening at the Firozshah Kotla in Delhi. Again, I'm sure it's a nice breezy summer's day at about a pleasant 42 or something. I was in Delhi yesterday. It was 42.5 degrees.
And at that level, 0.5 to 0.7 makes a difference too. You start to feel it.
It really does. It's a difference between feeling baked and burnt. So this is probably the only difference.
If you were at a Punjabi wedding, all the guys are hot there anyway.
That is true, sir. I was that 0.5 has happened because I was there. But anyway, enough about me.
Michael's wondering when we're talking about the cricket.
we are due to, as you know, everything is astrology.
This is great.
Eventually, we will get to it.
Is the football coming on in a minute as well?
Yeah, in 10 seconds. Here we are. So now, Kings 11 Punjab, KKR. Let's talk about that game first. For Kolkata Knight Riders, it really is do or die, make or break. This game, they've really got to sort it out now. We'll pull up the points table for you as well so you can talk through it. But they really have to. Both teams actually they need this win. One to stay in and the other to sort of galvanize and get their momentum back.
Yeah, at the start, I fancied KKR to win it. You know, I just liked a lot of the combinations. Clearly, Andre Russell is a key player, but doesn't look fit to me. He doesn't look like he's anywhere near fully fit. So that's a big kind of loss in their team department. I like the bowling variations as well. Narayan obviously is outstanding. The captain, I think, got off to a slow start and then got better and better in the game, like third and fourth game. But must-win time, isn't it? It's that end of the tournament where you just know that you can get on a run of games of wins and it takes you into the knockout stages with confidence. It's must-win for both teams.
Yeah,
but they don't like me.
KKR doesn't like me.
KKR
does not. It's the opposite of Mumbai Indians.
They do well in April and it gets too hot in May.
East and West. In fact, let's show you how they've done in the last 4 games.
I thought you said they don't like me, as in you. Why don't they like you?
This is not a confessional. It's like, why is he talking like? It's not even Sunday. Let's show you how KKR has historically done in the last 4 games of the IPL. As Harsha is saying, they don't like May. It's East and West, literally, and when it comes to the points table, there you go, gentlemen. It's really not good for them when it comes to the last 4 games. Let's move to the next page. And the next page, which is taking us up to 2017.
1-3 last.
Yeah. Only 2014 was a good year for them.
The
obviously,
different.
They won the championship that year, and they had 4 wins in that. But they don't do really well.
In fact, both in 15 and 16, I think they had opportunities that they blew. I think they just about crept in, but they were coasting, and then they huffed and puffed through to the end.
Yeah.
And then last year, 1-3, just.
The IPL is a marathon. You know, you look at how long it goes on for. And I look at the teams that have that star quality. They have those players that just love the big stage. And when the big stage comes towards now, which is you have to win the game, and there's no other option, generally the big players really step up. So I'll be interested to see how the big players step up today.
And that's what Mumbai Indians do, right? They do that so well. I mean, they're not playing today, but that's what they do so well. Somehow, they, like we said, they only start performing after the first away, which is Maharashtra Day. So after that, they figure, we're done now, let's get to work. And then they start winning. But that's the issue that KKR has been having. They sort of can't convert it towards the end. And Kings 11 Punjab too. Remember, they've lost 3 of their last 4 games. So they also have to step it up because they had a great start to the tournament. And somewhere, the wheels have fallen off. With Kings 11 Punjab this season, now have a look at this. We, of course, we do a lot of homework. We show you a lot of stats, a lot of numbers.
Yes.
Harsha helps us decode them because I'm not entirely literate.
But no, 3 out of 4, it's a funny side. All their big guns. Aaron Finch, big gun. He's back in the side today. David Miller, big IPL player.
Yes.
Yuvraj Singh, big gun. None of them have scored a run.
Yeah.
And so Chris Gayle comes back. He scored a few. And if they lose their first 2 wickets, then you don't know what to do.
No, first two, it feels like if they lose KL Rahul, suddenly you're like, whoa, put your hand up, who wants to bat? And somebody from the spectators can come because they're just not being able to string any runs together.
Yeah, he's a classy player. You know, he's got the gift of playing how to play. For me, looks like he can play any format of the game with the same kind of technique. He's got pure cricket strokes, but you know, you need more in T20 cricket. They talk about 3 or 4 players can win you the game. You do need that engine room, that middle order to be firing, and that's what they struggle with. You know, that engine room. The top order's been good. You know, KL Rahul and Chris Gayle has been fantastic at times, but that engine room's been, well, it's not had an engine on it, it's not had much petrol in it.
Yeah.
So they need to put some petrol in the engine room.
Yeah, there's no engine running, there's no one behind the wheel. There's nothing. It's not going well for them. Let's have a look at the squads, of course. Harsha spoke about the changes. Let's have a look at the Kings 11 squad. They've got 3 changes.
They've gone back to when they were winning.
Sorry?
They've gone back to when they were winning.
Exactly.
And Mayank Agarwal's come off a dream first-class season. Absolute dream first-class season. Lots of talk about why he was not picked for India, and he hasn't done much. So they're hoping that he'll come back, get those runs very quickly. He's a natural opening batsman, so if a wicket goes down, he comes in at 3. So they've gone back to the side they had right at the start.
Besides Akshar Patel, who missed out a few because of injury. But you're right, you're absolutely right. And there's no Marcus Stoinis in this, who really seemed to be it's sort of a key part of their
They needed that batsman who bowled. Yeah. So they've gone in with 6 bowlers. If you can see that, they've gone in with 6 bowlers. Yeah. But it means that Ashwin bats at 6. So really, the top 5 have to get the runs. You don't want to be sort of 3 down with 6-7 overs left.
I mean, on paper, it looks strong.
Yeah.
You know, but you look at every single team in the IPL,
they all look
and
strong.
You kind of look at the 11s and go, I don't want to play against either of those kind of sides. It's just on the day. Can you get your players in? Can you think clearly under the pressure of what the situation is? Can you read the pitch? Can you read the conditions? It's pretty much what T20 cricket's all about.
Yeah, let's have a look at the KKR side as well. The KKR side that historically has not been able to handle the pressure of sort of the death overs of the IPL, so to speak.
KKR have just gone round their change room and said, all fit men stand up out in the middle.
Yeah, I think they only got 10 and they've got 1 half fit kind of situation, right? They haven't got 11 full ones there. They've got Shubman Gill back in. They'll be happy to see that. Yes. And they've got, or let me see if I can get this right, Javon.
You know, if he wasn't from Barbados, but he was say from the south of France, then
he would be Javon Serlot.
Oui, très bien.
Javon Serlot. Just keep this page here. Just keep this page here for a second. He is from Barbados. He's part of the Trinbago Knight Riders. So he's obviously on Kolkata Knight Riders. So got a code share like airlines do. So he's come there, and today he gets the game in place of. We've been joking a lot about Tom Curran and Mitchell Johnson. They've been tossing a coin between who gets to play. Yeah. Today, obviously, they lost the coin, and a third person's coming. Yeah.
Well, you know, he's from the Caribbean, from Barbados. He'll be full of flamboyancy. It's generally what they provide over there. He'll come with a smile on his face. I think he's got quite a fancy hairdo as well.
Yeah.
So get ready for that.
I saw him walking around, and I saw this cool dude with a fancy haircut, and I said, he must be.
Was that Andre Russell, Sunil Narayan, or was it
No, Andre Russell doesn't have a cool haircut. He's just got a giant. It's a mohawk, but it looks like a giant centipede.
Hang on 1 second. There's a couple of youth type people who are watching the show and saying, why are you saying the mohawk's not cool? Of course, it's a cool haircut.
I mean, as long as you're not trying to head into the goal and the ball's going at crazy angles.
Yeah, that's a problem then. We've got some numbers for Javon. Yeah. I'm just gonna call him Javon now.
Yeah, if he was sort of north of Europe, we'd call him Yavon.
Yeah, well, you're just going the United Nations of accents now.
He's played quite a lot. He's played a lot.
Look at his best at the bottom, 4 for 5. Be a good start for him today, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that
good average of 21. Take that. Economy of 8. Again in T20 cricket.
He's also handling the bat towards the end, and they need that because they haven't been getting that out of Russell. Russell is sort of coming out, and you realize that he just wants to sort of hit sort of the first ball on. There's obviously something wrong, and they're not talking about it. They're not mentioning what's wrong, but there is. I mean, he's on his haunches between every ball when he's fielding. What do you do in a situation? Okay, let me ask you, as a captain, what do you do in a situation like that? You know he's a very important cog in your wheel, but you know he's only sort of half in there. Do you take a risk and rest him for 3 games and see he gets fit? Do you push him because he could just break down before the playoffs if you get that?
Well, no, they can't rest him now because they need to win. You know, this is the key time. They've just got to kind of strap him up and hope and cross the fingers that he stays fit. You know, I agree with you. I do think he's just going from ball one, possibly because of his injury. You know, I think in T20 cricket, you've still got to have the ability, even though you're a striker of a cricket, but you've still got to have the ability to, all right, the ball's not there to strike, right, I'll just get one. Because generally, a clever fielding side, as soon as he comes to the crease, just goes a bit deeper and goes, all right, we'll go deeper for you. Even on the inner circle, you know that he's not going to take the singles, so I just think there's clearly something wrong there. They'll hope that they get 20 balls of striking out of him. If you get 20 balls out of striking of Andy Russell, that's probably 50, 60 runs, so that's what they hope for.
Yeah, that's a big problem in their plans. Also, given that their planning at the auction left them really short of resources, because they have a small squad, they have a few people in there who they've not even looked at, they're not even probably looking at. And this was bound to be an issue, and we called this even when the tournament began.
So the only player I think who's not got a game there, a couple of them, there's Cameron Delport.
Yeah.
Who's played Apur Vankade. Cameron Delport has played a bit in the CPL actually.
Yeah.
But you never know, this Javon Searles could be a Jofra Archer type, you know. Suddenly coming and letting one slip in, you never know what to expect.
Yeah.
But yeah, KKR have to win with these people. They've got to get the most out of these people.
Yeah.
So you'll find that Andre Russell bowls 2 overs. Their problem is now, because Russell cannot finish, and Mitch Johnson and Tom Curran bowled sort of 18, 19, they're finishing with spin. Yeah. You see the last game they went for 20-22 because Piyush Chawla bowled the last over. So it takes away some degrees of freedom. So hopefully there'll be a mystery element to Searles and they might get him to bowl towards the end.
But I think in T20 cricket, it's always worth every now and again in throwing out someone that no one's ever seen.
Yeah.
Because it might take you 8 to 10 balls to get used to his action, the way that it's coming out, the pace.
That's 10%
and that's
of the game.
2 overs.
Yeah.
You might just get away with a couple of overs with a new player. So I just think every now and again, particularly in a state of, I wouldn't say desperation, but they're getting close to that KKR with the injuries, it's worth just throwing someone that no one's seen before. Maybe they'll be on YouTube now trying to find out who he is, trying to look at his action before they play, but you know,
who that was for me? Sohail Tanvir.
Yeah.
When Sohail Tanvir came to bowl, what happened? Where's his jump? What happened? Where's the ball come from?
He was with the Mumbai Indians are playing the first tier, and Sanat Jayasuriya did not want to play Sohail Tanvir because he would imagine the ball's going to be delivered at one point and delivered at completely some other point.
Yeah.
And so there was this big meeting, at the end of which Tendulkar said, I mean, what's the problem? Just look at his hand, you know, when it's like this comes in, when it's like that it goes out, and everyone left the meeting scratching their head saying, oh, okay, that's one other thing we didn't know.
Yeah.
But nobody wanted to play him. So this guy might just, as he said, if he slips in 2 overs without people realizing what he does, like, you know, Jasprit Bumrah did that when he first landed up.
Yeah.
And he said, who's this tin man, you know, who's this guy who comes in and bowls like that? And he slipped in 2 overs there.
Yeah, he of course had Lasith Malinga on the other end as well, and that always helps. Look at KKR's sort of stop and start kind of season that they've had, right? It's like in bursts. If you feel like they're going and then they stop and go and stop and stop and go, and that's what's happening. If you look at it, it's, you know, if you want to be pessimistic about KKR, you say they haven't got more than 2 wins in a row. But if you want to be optimistic, you say they haven't even got more than 2 losses in a row.
They're harmonic progression.
Yeah.
You stay with the one. Loss, 1-1. Loss, 1-1. Loss. So if the progression continues, what are they going to do in the next game?
It could be.
Could be a nice little tune.
Maybe we should work on it.
Maybe throw that to
Ajit, get me a piano.
Loss, 1-1.
Dwayne Bravo
Loss,
might take
1-1.
that. Challenge that Rundy World, isn't it? His new release.
Yeah. He's probably working on it as we speak. DJ, just give us 15 minutes and we join you, if you could, please.
But those results, that's T20 cricket for you.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, there's only the Sunrisers really that have been consistent.
True.
You know, they've got the best bowling attack, in my opinion. They've got the best captain in this year's IPL by a good distance, the way that he manoeuvres that attack. You know, the rest of the teams have all been very much similar. They've been trying to get a combination and a system in place with their 11 or their squads, and they've lost again. They go, oh, they panic, we better change a little bit. You know, you can only be consistent and in selection with T20 cricket if you win lots of games, because you just go with the same 11 every time. And you know, most of the sides have had to swap and change through injury, and you know, just trying to find that right formula. That's why you get this inconsistency.
Yeah, and also trying to find people who actually can survive 4 hours in 45-degree heat. I mean, that's the thing as well, right? It is a big problem. Another big problem for KKR, for their bowling, let's talk about them for a second, we'll come to KXIP then, is the power play. The power play has been an issue for them. I think in the last 7 games, they've just taken 2 wickets in the power play.
They don't take wickets up front. They don't take wickets up front.
And because of that, they're leaking runs.
Look at that. The smallest partnership in the power play, the lowest score they've conceded is 40 for no loss.
Yeah.
And I think the last 6 games, the smallest opening partnership against them is in 46 or 47, something like that.
Yeah.
So they're not getting those early wickets that make such a difference. So it is a definite issue with them. Definite issue. Not.
Actually, I think the challenge of captains in T20 cricket, the negative way to look at the power play is to think, oh no, we're going to go for loads of runs. I would completely turn it on his head. As a captain, I'd be going out going, right, we've got to get wickets.
Yeah.
We're going to set fields and put on bowlers. All right, we might go for a few runs, but we're going to try and get 3 wickets in the first 6 overs. Stats tell you that you win over 75% of the games if you do that.
Yeah.
So be a little bit risky. Gamble going for 10, 15 runs more by getting fielders in the right positions for catches. Maybe gamble on a bowler that you know might travel but might get you a wicket or so, because to me T20 cricket is about getting your team off to a start by getting wickets in that first 6. Forget the runs, you're right, you don't want to go for 80, 90, but just try and challenge the opposition by getting them out.
The thing is, if you are going to go for runs, you're going to go for them anyway. You've got 7 inside the 30-yard circle. So it's going over their head whether they're standing close in or they're standing back on the ring. So they're going to go over anyway.
But
so it's a great idea, just attack.
You can see why he was an aggressive captain.
Yeah.
And it's more fun, you know. I always say to guys, it's more fun when you're going for wickets.
Yeah.
You know, try and create fields that you're looking to go, right, how am I going to get him out?
And
Don't think, how am I going to defend? Because I tell you, with these bats, the power of the players, now it's very difficult to defend them, so you might as well try and get them out.
This is a great leadership lesson here. This is how you keep bowlers motivated in T20 cricket today, because otherwise bowlers are not having too much fun. No. This is the only way you can get them. Give them a toy. The toy is that we're going to get wickets. Yeah. Come on, guys. And everybody goes singing and dancing, and that's how they get a few wickets. Not been working out for KKR. Hopefully they can do that today. And of course, you know, sort of put pressure on
look,
Kings
Gaurav,
11 Punjab, because if they
get wickets, exactly. Sorry,
if they get the first
preempt
2.
You.
Yeah, sorry.
Oh shit, you're talking sense. I didn't realize. Sorry.
Yeah, it's rare. It's a rare occurrence, a bit like the solar eclipse, but that's what happened. Yeah, so if they get, if they get the first couple of wickets, and if they get Gale and Kale, they really can knock the wind out of Kings 11.
And
I mean, they're making what, 60% of the runs?
I think more than that now.
Yeah.
There you go. So you're just a tad over 60 is the percentage of runs.
Yeah, the number I saw, I think, was before Gale came in. It was overall how many the top 2. But 60, if 2 players are getting 61% of the runs and both get knocked over, then suddenly you're thinking, oh, hang on, who's going to get these runs? Because Karun Nair started well, and he's just sort of tailed off. Mayank Agarwal has just come back in, and Finch got married.
Well, Finch got married. Since Finch has got married, it's all gone down. I don't know what happened at the wedding. I know he arrived a few days after.
It's a really long hangover, basically.
Well, yeah, and Glenn Maxwell was the best man, so it's not really worked out for him either. But you're looking at that situation of Gale and Rahul being the main contributors at the top of the order. Now you think of it from KKR's perspective. You go, right, who's my best bowler? Get rid of those 2. Get Narayan on straight away. Just bowl Narayan to Gale and Rahul in the first few and just say, right, you're my best bowler, we need to get those 2 out, get to that engine room that's not been working.
And Narayan's record against Gale is excellent. Yeah, it is. He's got him out 4 or 5 times, I think, early, so his record is excellent.
There you go. I mean, look at it. This is Chris Gale batting. 119 balls faced against Sunil Narayan, scored only 94 and dismissed him 5 times. You could safely say Narayan has got Gale's number.
Well, absolutely. And all the analysts now with all the teams, they'll have that probably printed on the dressing room walls. So I would expect Narayan to take the new cherry this afternoon.
Yeah. Also, the ball stops. Gale might be this cool, laid-back fellow, but doesn't like the ball stopping on him.
So here's the thing. Gale obviously does not like facing Narayan. But everybody else in the KKR setup, he loves facing. He loves the juicy proposition of all the KKR bowlers except Sunil Narayan. Little asterisk on the side. Well, there you go. Chris Gale against KKR. He's got a few, hasn't he?
Yeah, but the question, Michael, is, I mean, you've seen Chris Gale a little bit. Are those historic numbers suggestive of Chris Gale of 2 or 3 years ago? Is Chris Gale of today the same as Chris Gale of 2 or 3 years ago?
Well, I said before the time, I don't think he is, but when I saw him strike a few when he came back into the side, I thought he's still got it. He's still got that ability to strike the ball out the ground. But I still think when he's up against real high quality, and Narayan is high quality, when he's facing bowlers that are just under that radar of high quality, he'll destroy them. We've seen that. But when you've got real class against him, I still think that he's just probably past his sell-by date.
But he, even past his sell-by date, is sometimes fresher than some of the fresh kids that are playing, and you can tell he's got 3 50s this season. He's got what, 2 man of the match awards? Was that 2 or 3?
But you know, you don't know now. Now he sort of switch on, switch off. Suddenly he won't score for 3 games, and 1 game he'll go boom, like he did in that final of the Bangladesh Premier League. Didn't do much. Somehow his team got into the final. 18 sixes in the final. So when he does them, he goes wholesale.
Oh, he's still got it. You know, he's still got that ability to do exactly what you've just said. But You know, I think when he's up against real quality, to be fair, when most really good players up against quality, you know, the quality always shines through, whether it's bat or ball. But, you know, I just think you've got to put your quality against him, and if you can get him in the first 6 or 7 balls, you've got a chance. But if he gets in and just gets his eye and just gives himself, even Chris Gayle, I still think he plays better when he gives himself 5 or 6 balls just to have a look, have a feel of the pace, and then he goes, right, as soon as the ball's in that kind of zone, just on that front foot, he just knows he can clear the ropes and get it over to the fence. So.
And it's easier for him to clear the ropes in indoor because the boundaries are, what, 40 yards? I think it's like 10 steps behind the 30-yard circle.
They got them from New Zealand.
The pitch is a road, which would be completely baked and dry right now. They've got this little sort of...
It's a good day for Gayle.
Yeah.
It's a good day
It's a good day for him to prove his worth. And they are batting first. Oh no, they're batting second. Sorry, KKR is batting first. So obviously we'd like to ask, what is, when you know there's a guy like Gayle coming, there's a guy like Rahul coming, what really in your head is a safe total? Do you even think about a safe total? Or do you just say, we're going to play each ball as it is and go somewhere? Because you target 200, you could be at 170.
Well, I always think it's dangerous targeting. You know, you've just got to get as many off each ball as you possibly can. You know, you've got to try and put the bowlers under pressure. You've got to have all your innovations as a batting unit. You know, the basics of any format of the game is 1 or 2 of the players have got to bat the majority of the balls. You know, and if you have one player bats 15, 16 overs, well, the rest can bat around it. That basic will never change in cricket. You know, but you need someone to get you a score as an individual, and then everything else comes around it. And once you start looking at scores, I always think it's a bit vulnerable to look too far ahead. I'd just break down the first few overs, get in for the first 2, have a look, then assess what the score you'd like after the first 6, and then again assess after 6, then start going, right, what do we want to be at 10, assess, what do we want to be at 14, and then what we're going to challenge for the last 6 overs. Just try and break a 20 over game, even though it's a short game. I think the best thing, that's why I get really impressed by the Sunrisers all the time, because strategically they seem to be together as one, as a team. They seem to be playing each like little sections of the game together as a team. They all seem to know what they're trying to achieve. You know, a lot of the other teams seem to be sending individuals out to play the game, and everyone goes, oh, what are you doing? Oh, I'm not too sure. Well, I think the best teams still in this format of the game just identify the little small plays in the game and play it together.
Love it. That's. I do have a question for you about KKR though. Who are you going to see? Are you going to see Sunil Narine opening with Lynn, or will you send Shubman Gill up to open with him?
No, I think they'll send Sunil Narine again. They sent him out at number 7 last time, and it was no good. I think the advantage with Sunil Narine is he's almost like a suicide squad batsman. It doesn't matter if he gets out. Whatever you get from him is a bonus, and they've got a lot of bonus out of him. So I think they'll go back to Sunil Narine up. Shubman Gill might maybe come in at 4 after Robin, and then push Nitish Rana further down. So I think that their top 7 is in pretty good form. If the top 7 can get them 180, 190, we might have a good game. I'm hoping Robin Uthappa comes good, because he's batted so well for so little.
Yeah, he's looked class, hasn't he? But he's just not got the big score. Narine, to me, is like the mulligan in golf, you know, just a free swing. You'd hate to play against him, because you know the ball can travel 360. He doesn't really know where the ball's going for the most part. So where are you as a captain going to set your field? I think he has to go at the top and just swing the willow.
Sometimes I feel like his eyes are closed under that helmet. Just, come on! Where'd it go? Nah,
I mean, everyone talks about bouncing him, because you know, after all, he's a number 8, number 9 batsman, so you bounce him. But it doesn't matter. He'll just swing. If it comes off, there'll be a top edge to third man. If it goes over the wicket keeper, it doesn't really matter. He's not someone like Michael Vaughan, who's supposed to look good and get runs. He just
leave it.
If it comes off, it comes off. So
he doesn't know what that means, right? Sunil Narine doesn't know what
but it's a formula that when KKR, to me, are at their best, he goes at the top. He just, even if he gets 15, he'll get 15 off 4 balls. So the innings is up and running.
And we know what Cat can do. We know what that did for Rajasthan Royals yesterday when Gotham got a 4-ball 13. It can just turn a game around. All right, we've only got the joy factor question left now. But before that, forgive me, I have been rude. Michael, have you met the Red Table?
I like it.
Red Table, meet Michael.
Does it talk?
Each other. It does, but you have to hear it inside.
Oh, very nice.
It's inside. And today you can get a replica of this fantastic celestial spiritual being, the Red Table.
Are you giving it away today? Are you in a good mood today?
It's a miniature one. I'm not... Easy now.
What's it made of?
Michael's wondering what on earth we're on about with this Red Table.
I like it.
It's enriched uranium. That's what it is. Yes, there can be explosions if people try to steal it. But if you could do
one of our winners is from Leeds, right? So, and you said cruel as you are that you're not going to give him the table because he's in Leeds and you're not going to pay for the freight.
I never said that. Ajit said that.
The miniature
the
table.
mystical being.
And that
Ajit.
to miniature. So he's actually tweeted saying, when Mr. Vaughan is going back, would you mind carrying that little
I'll
table?
tell you, there's no way someone from Leeds will have a red table, which Manchester
No?
United's a complete rival.
there
There's
you
no
go,
way
there
they
you
could
go.
have
Yeah.
a red table
I
at
have a
Leeds.
feeling that he's going to take the red table and he's going to paint it blue. I think he's going to do that. We
Okay.
may want to send some paperwork along with that, all right? And you'll have to send us images every 6 months to prove that it's still red. But anyway, coming to the joy factor question before we wrap up. Dear Sir Harsha, could you do the honors, please?
Okay, let's take a look. Here is the joy factor question. What was significant in the world of cricket when a certain Adelaide-based lecturer named John legally changed his surname in 1972? Go on. It's much like yesterday. It's a generation thing question.
Yeah.
If you're that generation.
When were you born?
1968. I'm a young 50. No, I'm not. I was born 1988. Figure it out. It's somewhere in the middle of that. It's somewhere. It's there. But it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it
But I
doesn't
know
matter.
it.
You don't look old.
I don't.
You talk like you're 13 anyway.
Yeah, I talk like a very intelligent 13 actually, on my good days. But we need you to know the answer. And if you know the answer, tell us on Twitter, #CricBuzzLive. And if you want that red table, then write us a little line of why you should get it. So give us the answer and give us a nice, engaging, funny,
nonsense.
whatever you want.
You're just making up ways of not giving the table.
No, we will. I promise we will
If
give
you don't
one
want to
away.
give the table, say, I don't want to give the table.
I'll tell you something. I don't want to give the table, but I will give the table because I'm contractually bound, but that's okay. It's paperwork. But I will give it away. But you need to write a nice, funny line, and we will get Michael to judge the most hilarious response after the factual response.
Michael,
And you will choose who to give it away. With great power comes great responsibility, Michael.
And there's a very good chance if you're from England, you've got a chance of winning it.
Yeah, that's right, because you're going to carry it with you. For a small fee, of course. We're going to see you in 90 minutes. We'll be back. Would like to thank Michael Vaughan and Harsha Bhogle. Thank you very much. Before we go, one last thing. KKR, how many are they going to get? This is just a guess. Let's see who gets the guess right.
179.
179 is your guess.
187.
187. I'm going to go with 196. Go big or go home. Time for us to go home. We'll see you in 90. Bye-bye.